Hello, hi and welcome. Hope you are doing great. My name is Anuradh Hetik and I'm from Sri Lanka. Now what you are staring at is my computer screen and I'm going to show you how to design your own website. I'm going to divide this video into three sections. In the first section I'll be discussing the background of web design, essential basic tools and techniques, and a little bit of everything that I can remember at the moment. In the second part I'm going to the design. Actually, before starting the coding, you should have a rough idea of what you are going to make. In programming world, we call it UX and UI design, which means in the sense user experience and user interface designing. Anyhow, it's something like having an idea how to arrange the stuff together in order to be shown nicely on the screen. In here, stuff means the images, buttons, the text, etc. Whatever thing that you get to see in kind of a software. Okay, you might use a pencil or a paper or a whiteboard to sketch your design, or maybe you could use Photoshop or some kind of image editing software to design your sketch like I have done here. The third and most important part, I'm gonna do coding. I'll show you how to code this web page from A to Z, and we are going to do this in old school way, which means Notepad programming. You might know that there are many online or offline tools to design websites. Might have already been using them, and it's only drag and drop, but those stuffs are not going to teach you the basics. In programming world, without basics, you are nobody. You might perform well until you meet bugs. In other words, the errors. Okay, let's get this started. When it comes to web development, we have to use many languages, designing languages, programming language, and also the scripting languages. Today, we are going to use only design languages. That also only two: HTML and CSS. HTML means in the sense hypertext markup language, and CSS means in the sense cascade style sheet. And today we are going to use only the basics. Okay, then the tools. If you are a programmer, you will be using tools like something we call IDE, integrated develop environments, to build your programs. But today we are not going to use any of them. Instead of you'll be using only Notepad. Okay, then I want to discuss about the difference between web development and web design, because most of people are a little bit of confused about these two terms. According to my own opinion, I think web designing is design the whatever thing you see in a website, like the buttons, the images, the text, and web development is something advanced, because interaction with the database and authentication, user account control, those stuffs. And okay, then I'll show you my website first. I'm gonna search my name, then my website is here. The reason now I am showing you my website is to give you guys a little bit of idea about what we call responsive design, because nowadays people are using different kind of devices to access your website. So your web page or website should be responsive, which means you don't have to make different kind of websites for computers, tablets, or phones. But what you have to do is develop one website which is fully responsive. That means it will arrange the space automatically by itself. So no matter whatever the device your website is going to be loaded, it will be shown nicely. So let me show you something. I'm going to minimize my browser. So I'm going to minimize my browser so as it will be seen as smartphone screen. So I think select the smartphone screen. See, now you can see the menu is here. It has been changed, and also the containers, the images, the text, everything has been changed according to the screen size. And if I make it like this, so it's going to be like a tablet. Yeah, so this is how you're going to see my website in a tablet. So now this is what you call responsive design. Okay, that's enough. Then I want to show you something about website development and hosting mechanism. I have an image here. I'm going to open this with my Windows Photo Viewer. Okay, this is all about web design, development, and hosting. Actually, I would call this mechanism. So here, as you can see, we have web developer or the designer, whoever is making websites, web pages. Then he upload them into an online web server. Then he or she has to purchase a domain name and point your domain name into the website or the web design that you made. Then here we have the user. User is accessing the domain name. Actually, he has no idea about the development thing we have done. What he only knows is the domain name, and so when he types a domain name, the web server has to point him to the correct website files. So now here a domain name means something like a name, but more specific than a name, because you might find people with the similar name or same name, but there aren't any domains with the same name. For example, in my case, anirudhika.com, that's my domain, and there's no other anirudhika.com. There will be anirudhika.lk, jk, jp, in, something like that, but there will be only one anirudhika.com, and I'm using that. So in other words, if you purchase a domain, that will be only yours, and you will be the one using that. So I will show you something else. Okay, I'm going to type my name, Anirudhika, then it's going to be this much of results, and there will be more here in other pages, but including my web pages here, but there will be others also with the same. But when I type anirudhika.com, so the browser will take you to the page, my web page. Okay, I will give you another example. Let's type google.com. So it's going to be loaded to the google.com. So this is the difference between a name and a domain name. Name can be used by many, but domain name will be used by you or the person who is going to purchase it. Okay. Then section 2, we are going to talking about the designing part. So before designing, you have to decide how many items you are going to use in your web page. For example, how many images, how many headlines, how many paragraphs, how many buttons, how many text field. So you have to decide them at first. Then you have to decide how to arrange the items. You have to use stylish design, and also you have to think about ease of access, and you have to be priority. For example, in your web page, you'll be having several headlines, but you have to prioritize each one of them. And then space arrangement is something really important, because you have to do space arrangement according to the priority. For example, if you are giving priority to one image, you have to use a little bit of larger space for that image. So when it comes to space arrangement, we can use fixed space or the percentages. Okay, then I'm going to show you the designing of our web page that we are going to be today. So this is the design of our web page. The top we have titles section is going to be taking 100% of the width and going to take 15% of the height. So now this is not fixed space. This is I'm using here percentage because I'm gonna make this web page a little bit of expensive, not 100% responsive, because if you are gonna develop a website 100% responsive, you have to use a kind of advanced designing techniques. In here I'm not gonna discuss that far, so this will be responsive but not 100%. Okay, the second section is banner. It's going to take 100% of the width and 25% of the height. Third section is moving text. I'm going to add some text. If you moving from here to here, and it's going to take 10% of height. And this part is going to be a little bit tricky because in here we are going to divide this view horizontally and vertical. The pink color section is going to take 50% of width and 50% of height, and this also section is going to take 50% of width and 50% of height as well. Okay, that's pretty much it about the design. Okay, then I think we can start coding the third section, but before you start coding you have to choose the images that you are going to use in your website. In here I have a set of images that I'm going to use. Okay, then section 3. Before I start section 3, I want to let you know that this is going to be a live coding session. I will neither use any script or edit this recording. Well, I had this idea since some time ago to stream a live recording session. You might have seen some people doing this, just broadcast their computer screens while coding. Okay, so I hope you guys won't mind if you do any mistakes, or in fact there will be mistakes, and also I will have disturbances. I'm expecting disturbance because the place I'm living is not quite calm or peaceful. Anyway, I'm gonna show this 100% live because it's really okay to make mistakes. So when you are doing programming, there will be nothing without mistakes. So you are learning by your mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Do your coding by yourself. So as I mentioned before, this is going to be screencasting. So the most important thing when you are watching screencasting is to keep track on the cursor, because if you miss the cursor, you will be having no idea of what the person is doing. So in here my cursor will be more noticeable because around my cursor I have a yellow circle, and when I do a left click, you will be seeing red colored waves around my cursor, and also when I do a double click, it will be like red and blue, and when I do a right click, it will be blue colored circular waves around my cursor. So I hope you will not miss the cursor and don't miss it. Okay, then as I mentioned in the section 1, I think today I'm going to use Notepad. So I'm going to search Notepad, and as you can see, I have two notepads here. The typical notepad that you are getting with the Windows, and this one, Notepad++, is for programmers. This is a little bit of an advanced notepad. I'm going to open it and show you. See, it comes with a very nice dark theme, and also we have a bunch of options here. I'm going to close this and I'm going to show you how to download and install Notepad++. So I'm going to search Notepad++. See, this is the home page of Notepad++. You can just go there and install Notepad++, download and install. And if you are not into downloading software, this kind of they have a portable version. You can download it and use without any installation. First thing first, we are going to make our HTML file. Before that, I'm going to make a folder, my desktop. I'm going to name it Amrudika. You can use whatever name you want, and inside that folder I'm gonna create my HTML file. I'm gonna open Notepad. Okay, I'll be doing this using both Notepads because I know there will be definitely some people who are not going to download Notepad++. I'm gonna first create my HTML file using Notepad, the typical one. Okay, I mean, you don't have to type anything here. First, the most important thing is saving the file with the correct extension. Now here you have to go into the right folder inside the folder that you make in desktop, and you have to choose here file type, all 5 types, then give a name. I'm gonna give my website .html. Now this is really important. .html is the extension of this file. You might have no idea about HTML, but you must have seen .mp4 extension. Now extension is something like a family name for the files. There will be different names, but with the same extension. For example, mp4, the video files you have in your PC or the phone, the whatever file with the mp4 is going to be open with your video player by default. And here in this case, whatever file with the .html extension is going to be open with your browser. So I'm going to save this and close Notepad. See, the file we just created is here, and you can see it's going to be open with the browser. Now here in my place, my default browser is Google Chrome, so that's why this is going to be open with Google Chrome. But in your case, this might be different. Maybe Internet Explorer or the Opera, just whatever browser you are using. And I'm going to double click this, and it's going to be open with my browser. Inside that, there's nothing because we don't have anything placed inside the HTML file. So I'm going to delete this because today we are going to do this tutorial with the Notepad++. I'm going to open Notepad++ now. Then I'm going to save this, and on desktop I'm going to find my folder. See my folders here. I'm going to give a name, my website, and we can choose the extension here. See, as you can see, Notepad++ gives us this number of extensions, so we can use this any kind of programming language with Notepad++. So here I'm going to choose HTML, see, hypertext markup language file, HTML, HTML, SHTML. These are kind of HTMLs. So I'm going to save this. Now I'm going to minimize Notepad++. Inside our folder we have my website, and I'm going to load this, and we don't have anything inside. Okay, I'm going to minimize my browser, and I'm going to close this, and I'm going to open up and keep opening my design because we are going to build our website based on this design. And I'm gonna go back and forth in between 3 of these windows. I will code here, then load in browser, and I'll be seeing my design also. Okay, we can start coding. Inside HTML page, we have tags and attributes. Now tags mean kind of the keywords. If you are a little bit aware of about programming languages, keywords means something like commands. So in HTML, these commands are called HTML tags, and also the attributes means the things we are using to customize HTML tag. So you know that in every command they have a default instructions, we need something customized, we have to use attributes. Okay, then the first tag we are going to use in HTML is HTML tag in itself. So this is how you start a tag, and this is how you end then tag. So whatever we type in between an HTML tag are going to be showed in our browser. So I'm going to type hello group, and I'm going to save it here. Before running, you have to save. This is very essential. Save, and I'm going to refresh my browser. That means I'm going to load a web page with whatever changes we have made. As you can see, our group is there. Remove this. We don't need this. We are going to do something advanced. Now in programming, there is something really important that's called comments. So comments are essential if you are a good programmer. Even if you are a bad programmer, comments are essential because in the future, when we are going to do some changes in your code, these comments are going to help you to realize what you have done in the code. So this is how we are going to add an HTML comment, and this really varies from language to language. For example, in language like Java, we don't use comments like this, but in HTML and also XML, that kind of languages, design languages, we are using comments like this. So I'm going to type starting of HTML page, and here I'm going to type ending of HTML page. Now this comment is really not necessary, but I'm putting these comments in order to make it clear for you guys. Now inside HTML we have head tag, and this is how I'm going to close head tag. Now then we have body tag. So I think HTML page is something little bit similar to human body, because it has a head section and also body. Inside head section in HTML, we are not displaying anything, but we load the whatever things we are going to use inside the body section. The images, we can load images over the database, connectivity, and load data from the database, and also we can load CSS style sheets in our head section and use inside our body. Okay, then I'm going to add a comment head section. Head section. This is head section, and this is the end of head section. And this is our body section. I'm going to add this section, and the end of body section here. Okay, before moving into the other parts of this code, I have to mention something here, because if you are into programming, you have to make your typing 100% accurate, because if you miss a dot, colon, semicolon, or just a letter, however it is big or small, if you miss something, your program is going to be not working. It will be giving errors. So you have to type everything 100% accurately. So okay, then inside body section is where we are going to make our design. So it's time to have a look at our design here. So we can see 5 sections here, 1, 2, 3, then 5 sections. So we are going to make 5 sections. Now for a making section, we are going to use div tag. Now div stands here for division, and the usage of the div tag is similar as the name implies, the division. We are going to divide our HTML body into sections. This is how we divide it. So we need 5 sections. Okay, I will start putting a comment here. Section title section, and end of title section here. End of title section. Then I think we can copy this div and paste, because it will be the same thing. Okay, we have our second section, which is banner section. End of banner section. Then end of slideshow. Okay, good. Now we are done with sectioning or the arranging spaces. I'm going to run this, and you can see nothing because those things are the commands, tags. We have divided our page into sections, but we haven't printed anything, so that's why you cannot see. So I'm going to print. Actually, I'm going to type something here. And this one is a slideshow section. It's funny, right? And I'm going to run my website. You can see all the 5 sections here. So actually we haven't given any dimensions for those sections. That's why you can see them like this. So what I'm going to give is dimension, but here title section is going to take 100% of width and 15% of height. But at first I'm going to give fixed amount of width and height. So I'm going to add style attribute. Inside style attribute, you can add width and height. Width, then colon. I'm going to give 500 pixel. So and height of 200 pixel, and you have to end it with the semicolon. Otherwise, it's wrong. It's not going to work. I'm going to save this and run. See, as you can see, you can see the height, but you cannot see the width because we don't have any background color. So I'm going to add it a background color. So background color, you can see it here. Colon, gray. I'm going to add gray and save and run it. See, the gray is here. Okay, I think we should add a little bit of width. Let's add 700 pixels because I have to show something. Okay, now no matter the screen size of your device, and this section is going to take 700 pixel of width and 200 pixel of height. So I'm going to minimize my browser, and this section is not going to change. It will be solid. It will stay solid no matter the screen size. And if your screen is really small like this, you are not going to see half of this section, right? Okay, so that's why we have to use percentages rather than fixed amount of width and height. So here the design, this section is going to take 100% of width and 15% of height. So we are going to put it here, 100% width and height of 15%. 15%. Okay, I'm going to save this and run. Now this is something very responsive, because it's going to change, the section is going to change according to the size of your screen. Okay, now just like that we can allocate the spaces to our other sections also. This is going to be 25% height, going to be 10% height. Okay, the banner section, we can copy this attributes here. I don't have to type everything on this. So with this okay height, we have to give I think 25%, and background color is kind of orange, so a little bit similar to orange but not orange. So let's see if we have orange in HTML. We don't have. So in HTML you cannot type whatever color you want. Actually it's not going to work. There are some kind of limited colors: red, blue, gray, green, yellow. If you need some kind of a custom color, you have to use color codes. Now for each and every color there's a code. We call them hex color code. I'm going to search hex color. Then if you are using Chrome and Google, you'll be getting something like this, but don't freak out if you don't get this. And you can see many websites here, and you can access one of them and pick your color. Now hex value is here, what you can see with starting with the hash. And you have to choose the color that you need. To be something like this. Then we are going to copy this color code and paste it into our code. And okay, save and let's run. Yeah, it's good. Now the next section, moving text section, we can copy this here and paste, and the color we need here is blue. I think blue we have in HTML, so you don't have to use hex color. If you need you can use something random, it doesn't matter. So but in here in my design I have blue, that's why I'm using blue. But for the next part I think I will need to pick the color code of pink. So okay, before that paste here, and in this section actually I think I have to set the height of 10%, and this section I have to use a width of 50% and also height of 50%. Background color is I'm gonna use the pink, kind of pink, hot pink I think. Okay, here. Okay, I'm gonna save this and run in our browser. So as you can see. Okay. Now the last section, we are going to give it the color of green. Actually when allocating the size because actually the percentages you have to take your browser, the width of your browser, width of your screen as 100%, and height is also 100%. Now if you count this amount, 50 here, then 60, 70, sorry, actually 85, now 100. So it's going to fill our browser screen. So if you give this thing like 30% off, let's give 30% of height. I'm going to save. See, it's not going to fill the browser window vertically, so that's why you have to calculate the percentages that we are going to use. So let's give 50, and the last section actually need this, and okay, I think width and height are okay. Background color we have to use green. Okay, save and run. I think this section is supposed to be here, but it's right under our personal profile section. Now this thing, or this happens because in HTML, whatever we type or whatever the thing we place are gonna be one below one, or one below one. So we have to change this. We have to give it positioning. So for that, I think we have to use float attribute. And here I'm gonna give the personal profile section. It has to be floated to left side, and this section has to be floated to right side of the window. And I'm gonna give a float here for the personal profile section. Actually, it's not necessary to give a float to our personal profile section because it's already in the right place, but I'm gonna give it anyhow. And this section should be floated into the right. Okay, I'm gonna save this and run. See. Okay, now I think we are done with space allocation. Now if I minimize our window, see, now this is kind of responsive design because these sections are gonna take the space of your screen, no matter the size of your screen, no matter what the device you are using. These sections are going to be shown nicely. Okay, then we can move into a little bit of advanced designing. Okay, I think we can start with the title section. Okay, I'm going to remove these letters here, and I need to add the title here. Now we know the titles are a little bit big fonts and bold. Okay, noticeable. So I'm going to add the heading. Now those things are the headings H6 to H1 you have in HTML. So I'm going to use H1. H1 is bigger than H2. H2 is bigger than H3. So I'm going to use the biggest one here, H1 tag. Then we have to close the H1 tag here with /, and inside those tags we can type whatever we want, and it will be shown like H1, like a heading one. So I'm going to type our group. Okay, I'm going to save this and output. Now I need this to be both horizontally and vertically centralized. So I'm going to center this. You can use attributes inside this H1 tag. I'm going to use style equal within double quotations. I'm going to use a text align attribute. I'm going to give center. Okay, I'm going to save this and run. As you can see, it's horizontally centralized, but it's not gonna be centralized in vertically. Here, if you need to centralize this even vertically, you have to use a little bit of a complex code, but I'm not going to use that. So instead of I'll be giving padding in the top of our letters, on the top of our letters. So I'm going to add padding top like 20 pixels. Okay, then I'm going to save. Okay, it's a little bit centralized, and if I minimize my window, this text is not gonna change the size of it according to the screen size. So we have to do something like this. Now this is something that you don't see usually, but let's use this font size. I'm going to give a 4 VW. Okay, then I'm going to save this and run. Our letters are going to be a little bit large, but when we minimize or when we change the size of our browser screen, browser window, our letters are also going to change its size actually up to some extent. Not fully responsive, but I think it will be enough in this time. Okay, so if you want, if you think these letters are like too big, you can use here 3W, then letters will be smaller, but I need them to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use 4. Okay, I think we are done with the title section, with the title actually, and banner section. I'm going to add an image, so I'm going to use img tag. Now img tag stands for image, and I'm going to /img. Now inside img tag, I think this is also an attribute of img tag. I'm going to use src equals, then inside double quotation we have to give the name of our image, and before that we have to load an image into our folder here, but inside folder we don't have any images. That's why I have images here. I'm gonna use this image as the banner actually. So this kind of very narrow but long image, because in here, as you can see in our design, this section of banner is long but not very tall, so that's why we need this type of an image. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this into our folder, and we need the name of this image with the extension. For that I'm going to go properties, and type of file is the extension .jpg. This is an JPG image. I'm going to copy the image name. Okay, and I'm going to paste it here, .jpg. Now extension is really important. If you don't put the extension, this image is not going to be loaded. Okay, I'm going to save this and run. See, our image is there, but it's too big, so we have to give it width and height, and to make it fit to the section. So I'm going to add styles equals inside double quotations. I'm going to add a height of 100%. Now let's see, 100% of height is going to take this 25%, because I'm using this image inside this section, and when I type it here, 100% is actually 100% of inside this div, not 100% of your browser window. And width of I think okay, I will give a width also 100%. Let's see if it works. Okay, I'm going to save this and run. Okay, it's fit to the screen, it fits to the section. And when I minimize, the image is going to be a little bit wrapped. I think we cannot prevent this 100%, but we can add attribute like this and reduce the wrapping. I'm going to add overflow, hidden, and save. Okay, now the image is going to be less wrapped, but anyhow it's going to be wrapped, but less than before. Okay, then I think we are done with the image section or the banner section, but we can start with the moving text section. Okay, moving text section here, I'm going to move this, and if we need something to be moved inside the HTML, we have to use some marquee. Here marquee is also tagged. Okay, I'm going to close marquee tag here with the / and marquee. Okay, and here I'm going to type something, and whatever type in between marquee tags are going to be moved. Okay, I'm going to type moving text. Save this and run. Okay, the are moving. Now, as I told you, the beginning of third section, I mean before starting coding, in HTML tags they have a defined set of instructions, and if you need something custom, you have to add attributes and change it as you want. So I'm going to add some attributes to our marquee tag. I'm going to add behavior. Actually equal inside double quotation scroll, and direction equal inside double quotations left, and scroll amount dot equal inside double quotation. I'm going to give random amount, let's give 40. Now this is the speed of moving text. So okay, let's run this. Let's see what it changed. Changed nothing, because in here I have done a mistake. Scroll amount AMOU, I have missed letter N. So this is why accuracy is important when we are doing programming. Okay, now let's save this and run. Okay. Now it's moving faster than before. Let's give 400 and around. You cannot even see the letters moving. I'm gonna give it this bit of slower speed, so I'm gonna give 10%. And I think these letters are also not big enough, so I'm gonna add a h tag as a header tag. I'm gonna add h2, a little bit of smaller than h1. Okay, I'm gonna finish this h tag here. Okay, let's see. Now our letters are big enough, I think, but this is not the sentence that I wanna be added to this moving text section. I'm going to add something nice about our group. I think this is what I want to be added there. Okay, I'm going to run this. Okay, we are good to go. Then I think now we can move into the next two sections, personal profile and slideshow section. Alright, now we are so far done with the easy designing. Then we have to design our personal profile section and slideshow section, which will be a little bit messy. So I advise you guys to keep your eyes wide open before starting design these sections. What I'm gonna do, removing those sections and add one huge section covering both this slideshow and personal profile section. Okay, for that I'm gonna remove both of these sections until I can cut those sections, because later on we'll be adding those sections back. So I'm gonna add a big section. I'm gonna name it section 4. Section 4. This is the end of section 4. Section 4. Okay, and I'm gonna give 100% of width. Now you know how to add width or height. 100% of width and 50% of height. And I'm gonna give background color of yellow, so it will be shown. Okay, I'm gonna run. So this section 4 has covered both the personal profile section and slideshow section. Now I'm gonna add the section or both section of slideshow and personal profile sections inside this section 4. Now you might feel that this is not necessary, but this is something really critical for our design and also to keep our site or website responsive. So inside this, actually we don't need this background color, it's not necessary. Inside this view, I'm going to paste our personal profile section and also the slideshow section. What I'll do now is called indenting, because in programming, indenting is really important to keep your code nice and clean. Now as you can see in this div, which is called section 4, we have two divs, personal profile section and slideshow section. So that's why we have put here a little bit of space, make it clear those divs are inside this big one. Okay, now we're going to save this and run. Okay, as you can see here, these two sections are not going to take this whole space, because in here now these two divs are inside this section 4, the bigger div, and we are still having the previous settings, which is 50% of height. Now it's not enough, we have to use 100% because now we are working inside the div. Okay, let's save and run. Okay, we are back to normal. Now what I want to do is to an background pattern to a person profile section. Before adding a pattern, we have to find an image. And, I'm going to save, actually copy an image from my image section, image collection, and save it inside our folder. And save it inside our folder. Paste, and I'm going to see what kind of what type of image this is. It's a PNG one. Name is Pattern Studio. I'm going to copy the name, and I'm going to remember the extension .png. I'm going to close our folder, open our code, and now I'm going to add this background pattern into our personal profile section. So I'm going to remove this background color, which is not necessary anymore, and I'm going to add background image. Actually background image, then URL. This is how we are adding an image inside the div. Inside the brackets, in the quotation inside, we have to add the name dot extension, actually I think PNG. Okay, then this is not just an image, this is a pattern, background pattern, so we have to repeat this. So we have to add background repeat dot, actually background repeat colon repeat dash capital Y dash capital X and semicolon. Now in here, repeat dash capital X dash capital Y means this image is going to be repeated in both Y and X axis, which means this image is going to fill our whole personal profile section. Now I'm going to save this. Let's run. Good. Now we have nice background pattern. Okay, then now I need this personal profile section also to be divided into two in here, and I'm going to add then a portrait image in here and some kind of text or paragraph in here. So what I'm going to do is in our code, I'm going to remove this personal profile section text, and I'm going to add two divs inside our personal profile section. Okay. I'm adding two divs here. Now actually it's raining in my place. You might hear a little bit of noise, please don't mind. So this div, actually this section is gonna be the personal profile image section. Personal profile image section, and this one is gonna be personal profile text. Okay, inside this we have to add an image. Now I think you remember how we add added an image in our banner section. In here, see, you can copy this code. This is how we add an image. Now we have to remove this name and replace it with the name of the image that we are going to use. So before that, I think we have to find an image inside our image folder. I have an image of a beautiful girl, Shiori, from our group. I'm going to paste that image, copy and paste that image into our folder, and I'm going to see the extension. It's a JPEG one, name is Shiori. Okay, I'm going to change the name. Extension is the same, JPEG. Okay, Shiori, and style and height, we are going to give 100%, width also 100%, overflow. This is not necessary, but you can keep it. And I'm going to run this. See, image is wrapped. So we have to fix this. For that, I think we have to add some styles, actually attributes to our both these containers, actually image section and also the text section. We are going to add the style equal inside double quotation, width of 50%, height of 100%, and quote left. Okay, let's see if it works. It's not working. Why? Let's see. See, I missed a semicolon here. I'm going to put the semicolon and save and run. See. Now the space is fine, but image is a little bit wrapped, as you can see here. So we had to fix that also. For that, I'm going to give this inside this image tag style. I'm going to give a height of 100% and width. I'm going to use auto. So save and run. See, now image is not wrapped anymore. Okay, then we can move on with our person profile text section, and we can add this style attributes to our person profile text section also, but our float should be right. Okay, and then inside this I need to add the headline and also a paragraph. So what I'm going to do is to add headline, I'm going to add h2 one, h2, and I'm going to write the name of this girl, Shiori Yoshisaki. I think, yeah, okay. I'm going to save this and run. Okay, and I need this to be horizontally centralized, so I'm going to add align attribute to our h2 tag. Align equal the double quotation center, and save, run. See, it's centralized. So then I need to add some kind of how do I say description or about this image or the girls. I'm going to add p tag, which means paragraph. This is how you add a paragraph in HTML. So I'm going to type something nice for her. your okay, I'm done with the paragraph. Let's save this and run. Okay, the paragraph is here. Now I need this to be a little bit letters to be a little bit bold and also centralized. So I'm going to add style attributes to our paragraph. Style equals, I'm going to add padding right around 20 pixel. Then text align center. That's now centralized text and paragraph, and also I'm going to add word wrap. Word wrap. Okay, and let's save this and run. The paragraph is format, but letter size still is too small, so I'm gonna bold them. So this is how bold a whole paragraph. I'm gonna add a B tag to our paragraph. It means bold. And save and run. See, now our letters are bold, nice and plain. Okay, now we are done with the person profile section. Now we have to work on a slideshow section, but before moving to the slideshow section, which will be a little bit complicated, I'm gonna add some style to our title section. I'm gonna add background pattern, and also I'm gonna add a shadow to our title. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna load our background pattern for the title section. So this is the pattern I'm gonna use. I'm gonna copy and paste this inside our folder. And the pattern is I'm gonna copy the name of pattern. Actually, I can remember it. Pattern header pattern.jpg. Then I think we have already add the pattern to our person profile section, so we can copy that code. And, we have to find that. Yeah, see, background image. You can find that, and also the repeat thing. Sorry, X. Okay, and you can copy and paste this inside the title section, your title div. Okay, and I'm going to change this name into header pattern. Pattern dot. This is the JPEG one. I'm going to save and run. See, the pattern's there. Now I need to add a little bit of a shadow to our title. This is how we are going to add shadow. Text shadow. I'm going to add a text shadow to our header tag. Let's see if we have text shadow. Yeah, we have text shadow. I'm going to give a 2 pixel of shadow. And before putting the semicolon, we have to add the color. So I'm going to go there and get the help of our text color picker, I'm gonna add like kind of little bit pink color of shadow. Okay, this we have to paste the color code here, then semicolon. I'm gonna save this and run. Now our shadow is not working. Let's see the problem. Oh yeah, actually the problem is here we have add only one attribute. Now when you talk about shadows, they also have width and also height. So in here I have missed one of width or height, so I'm gonna give that attribute also to pixel. Let's save. See, we have the shadow. Okay, now I think we can move on making our slideshow section. Okay, for our slideshow, so we need some sliders. For that I'm gonna use a 6 image. I have actually 7 maybe. Just here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. I'm gonna copy them and paste them inside our folder. Okay, now making a slider is not easy. Actually, it's not easily achievable. It needs a little bit of complicated CSS code, which I'm not going to type here because it will take a lot of time, and also I don't remember that. You also don't need to remember the heavy CSS codes. I'm going to copy and paste that code from my source. And here I have CSS code, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this and paste inside our code. So I think you can remember I told you in the beginning, inside the head section we are not doing any coding, but we are loading stuffs to be used in our body. So now what I'm going to do is to load our CSS code inside head. I'm going to write style. This is how you add the CSS. Inside this I'm going to add our code. See, this is the code, and I think I have to format this. It's a little bit of a long code. I'm going to add a comment. Slider CSS. Okay, this is I'm gonna in here also I'm gonna add comment. CSS. Okay, I'm gonna save this and run. No change. Okay, then inside our slider section I'm gonna remove background color, which is not necessary. Then I'm going to remove this text also. Now I'm going to add actually I'm going to add another div inside the slider section. It will take 100% of width of this section. I'm going to add style width. I'm going to give width. Width, I'm going to give height 100%. Okay, then inside that one I'm gonna add another div. Okay, I'm gonna add another div which will be the div that containing our slider. So I'm gonna give ID for this div, the ID, and going to add slideshow. Actually, in here we are putting an ID to this div because inside our CSS code we are accessing this div. I will show you in here. See in here, what we are accessing here is that div in here. Okay, and inside this div I'm going to add a slideshow container, in other words a slideshow wrapper. Okay, this is a whole bunch of div. It is kind of messy. I'm going to load the class. Now in here class means the CSS class that we have made in our header section. I'm going to give the slide wrapper. Now here slide wrapper means the name of our CSS class. I will show you. See in here, this is the class. Okay, okay. Now inside this we have to make divs, number of divs to load our images. And here in our folder we have 7 images. Yeah, we have 7 images. So then we have to make 7 divs here. If you have more than 7, you have to make divs as much as images you have. I'm going to add the class of slide in here. This class is what we have in here, slide. Okay. And we need 7 of them because we have 7 images. If you have more than 7, then you have to use more than 7 slides. 6 and 7. Okay. Now here I will. Now this is all we have to do inside our slideshow section. Now the thing here is inside our CSS code. So I will explain you the code. Okay, let me explain the CSS class. The slide wrapper, we have a width of 4781 pixel, which means the total length of our images. I will show you here. These images are each going to take width of 683 pixels, and we have 7 images here. If you multiply 683 pixels by 7, you will get this number, 4781 pixels. And in here you can see 18 seconds. This is the time of our slide. So these images are gonna take 18 seconds to slide. And in here, height of 284 pixel and width of 683 pixel, which means the exact size of our images. I will show you. See in here, dimensions of our image. So in here we have to use the name of each image. See, I have different names: slider image 1, slider image 2, just like that in our folder. See. So I think these names should be similar to the names of our images. So I'm going to change these names. So I'm going to put first one local, then the second one Lisa. Last but not least. Okay, I'm going to save this and run. We have our slider here. It's going to move. Our slider is moving. Now actually using HTML, CSS, making a slider is not that easy, but I think this is the most easiest way to make an image slider using HTML and only CSS. It is also very basic. Okay, I think we are so far. Actually, we are completely done with our website. Okay, let me add something more. Little bit of I'm going to do something with our moving text section. In the background is not that nice, so I'm going to add a gradient. So this is how we are going to add a gradient. So we have to find moving text section here. I'm going to remove the background color attribute, background gradient. We have to add background gradient. Then inside brackets, blue, then go to white. Our gradient should be, and I'm going to save and run. No, gradient is not working. Let's see. Let's find out the error or the issue. Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned the type of gradient, so we have to add a linear gradient. So in here there are a few types of gradients, so if you just put gradient, it's not going to work. You have to specify the type of gradient. Here I'm using linear gradient. You have to maybe use a circular gradient or something like that. Okay, I'm going to so not working. Oh, here I made another mistake. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there's another mistake. The comma. So this everything is important. Okay, we are done with the gradient. Now my website is 100% done. You may feel like adding some more designs. It's okay, it's up to you. You can do whatever you want with this, or you can try your own designs also. You might be better than me. So I know that most of you guys are not going to do this, not going to type those codes by yourself. Actually, it's really hard watching the video and typing the code by ourselves, especially when we are beginner, extreme beginner. So I have good news for you. In my website, I have at this code, this one actually. So whole project you can download it. I'm gonna go my website. Okay. I'm gonna take a while. Inside the portfolio section, you will see the project here, design tutorial. So I'm gonna click this chain, and it will redirect you to the portfolio single page. So in here you can download this project. I'm going to download this for you. See, it says a project download successfully. I'm going to do yes, actually okay. But there is also a download counter. I'm going to open this, and I'm going to extract this to my desktop. Okay, it's done. Inside in our desktop, see, here is what we have just downloaded and extracted. Inside that, the whole project is there. But okay, I'm going to run this. Just double click and run. See, you can see the website, but you cannot see any images because those images are belong to the people, so I cannot put them here without their permission. Okay, so maybe you will be able to replace those images with your own. Now if you want to edit this code, now if you double click this, it's going to be open with your browser. So if you want to edit this, you have to right click and choose edit with Notepad, or if you don't have Notepad, you can go open it and also open with your Notepad. Good, just like that. So I think we are done here. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys will be starting web development or web design. Thank you once again. Thank you for watching.